I'm working with VR, XR experts around the world, managing our Virtalis Leadership Network, also called VLN. And this community is to share, learn, and connect with experts around the world. So we have two of those members present here today from BAE, and also Salzgitter is one of our VLN members. More info about that, visit our website, visit LinkedIn, and check it out, because VLN is accessible for all the Virtalis customers, and it's a great community, as I said, to learn, share, and connect. Yeah, I mean, I think you saw the show reel, which we started, and so if you ask me, you know, what are we doing? What is Virtalis doing? I mean, we're basically optimizing the whole product value chain. I mean, from concept to decommissioning, and using virtual reality in its broader sense, or extended reality, to provide solutions to help those individual processes accelerate or go faster, safer, etc. The interesting thing is, and this is, I mean, those are high data environments, heavy CAD environments, industrial enterprises. The interesting thing is that we quite recently also saw significant demand, you know, from other departments. Some of the examples here as well, and we'll also look at them today. Also why HR, but also learning and development departments are eagerly looking at possibilities. So that's an angle which we will also explore today. So we go beyond the standard applications, how to do it, where it fits. We also have a slightly broader look as well. So what's happening in the market? And this is an interesting thing about the also the need in the enterprise context. I mean, many of us are aware of impact of disruption and the pressure on enterprises. Almost 4 out of 10 CAOs, this is a Gartner research, told us that they are facing serious cost pressure because of disruption from other companies. So, I mean, it's not really new. We know that. It has to force enterprise to work faster and better, more efficient. But the interesting new thing is that in the last 24 months, I mean, additional challenges popped up that enterprises need to deal with. And one of them being new hybrid way of working, also I think quite familiar for many of us. But the other one is probably even a bigger one to crack, and that is the new dynamic talent landscape. And that's also what we'll be talking about today in many of the sessions. So basically means the enterprise have to optimize not only their supply chain, but also their human supply chain. So have a look to understand today's struggle in the talent management domain. So let's look at the modern professional. And some of you will recognize, I mean, because it's talking about us, you know, I mean, what we need in our job, what we need in our work. And the statistics, I mean, that's a very interesting thing, because if you look at it, that 55% of them say that mental stress is directly impacted in the confidence in the skills. Some of them saying, I don't have actually enough access to technology and training to do my job. Then you know that there's a huge training need to address, not only to prevent burnout, but also to help them grow, to help them feel confident, and perhaps to help them feel appreciated, you know, as part of the organizational goals. But what actually happened? You know, what happened? I mean, maybe we saw it happening, but what are the drivers that actually brought us here? Because if we understand those drivers, we can also develop the right way forward. I mean, one thing for sure in the last 24 months is that they've changed everything for businesses, for leaders, for employees. And employees are starting to ask you very basic questions like, why am I doing this? What is it for? How can we do it better? And the competition to attract new talent is growing fiercer than ever, fiercer every day. It's extremely difficult. Look at these statistics to attract the right talent. I mean, of every unemployed person, there are two job openings, and that is more or less universal. That's true around the world. So organization is also, I mean, as good as the people it employs. And how can you do it? You can build, buy, or borrow talent. And the most logical choice at this moment doesn't need a lot of rocket science in the current market is to build talent, train your existing workforce, and make them happy, make them strong, make them aligned with your corporate goals. And that's the most viable option. So of course, there are plenty of ways of doing that. I mean, we have traditional learning, but immersive learning is taking off, and we'll show that to you today. What is it? In short, I mean, it's learning by doing. It's from passive to more engagement from that perspective. It's from what you learn in a second or in a minute can otherwise take you hours. And I think the pure magic, and we will show that today as well, is the immersion. I mean, thanks to the immersion, I'm being surrounded by a real scenario situation. You can be on the job before you ever are on the job. So I think the magic happens there, and we will uncover and reveal that today as well. But the numbers also support immersive learning. I think many of you probably have seen a statistic like this. This is from our friends from PwC. I mean, but you see more and more research pointing into the effectiveness of virtual reality. And also today, I mean, we have John Cardia. He will also share, his findings on the floor, in the company. And I think others will also share their own perspective on how effective this can be. Closing slide. Looking at the time, very happy to see that we are exactly on time. So, I mean, so if you break it down, I mean, enterprises are impacted by disruption modes. They are in disruption modes. They're optimizing supply chains and they need to act. At the same time, there is a huge time bomb ticking in the HR supply chain, and training is essential. And that's where immersive learning comes in. Also remain competitive and solve the lack of the talent inflow. So this is a starting point to see, what is basically happening on the enterprise level.